That's not a truth ecosystem. It has to be uncompromising for everybody. But you can't do that unless you're in what's called a safe harbor. So unless you build that culture of genuine love and care and vulnerability, and again, there's some wonderful exercises in there that I've done with lots of teams. I've seen around how you can build trust through vulnerability. And it's the bit that people miss when I'm doing these reviews is it's not a one-off thing. Like the Triple H session's a great example of John Gordon's that I used a lot, where always start with the leader, but in a small group, you'll stand up and share, preferably away from the work environment because it's just different. But you'll share your lifetime hero, highlight, and hardship. Like that is a really emotional thing to do. It's terrifying, but the payback is just incredible.
So you have to create the culture
100%.
that is the safe harbor to then the candor, the feedback. Because Ray Dalio talks about the idea of meritocracy in Bridgewater Capital and how like an idea, it gets basically rigorously pulled apart and everyone's in a room, people get to vote on it, but it gets stack ranked based upon your believability, your experience and stuff like that. So your ideas do get ranked. But yeah, they have this concept. It's candor, really.
So,
but it's hard in business. Like
it is way hard.
It's very hard in business. Like I've seen it firsthand. Like,
and just on reviewing documents, court documents and whatnot, clearly what they said and what they did may have been two different things in Bridgewater especially, but you never know unless you're on the inside, which is just like sport. But there's no doubt that it's really, really hard to be brutally honest with people. So a truth ecosystem is not an easy thing to do. But if you ask anybody, would they like to work in a team where you can legitimately be, I always used to say, I want my teams to be the best version of themselves every day. And that might mean I have to change the way I behave because not everybody is like you, and that's okay. but it's easy to say and hard to do. It requires constant reflection and iteration. But I do know, and that's why I guess those two as a first concept, the safe harbor is the one. And so how do you build a safe harbor around showing people that you care? You know, a great saying, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. It's so true. And again, it's easy to say, it's easy to fake, but if you genuinely care about your people, and I don't think the business world does this as well as sport does, because I always say in sport, in most teams, competition's about 8-9 months of your 12-month calendar. So you kind of go underground for that preseason period. And in that period, you've had about 30% change in your roster. So now you've got a new team and you've got to build connection, vulnerability, safety, and trust. But, you know, they spend all day together. They get pushed every day, you know, by me previously and the team. They get put into vulnerable positions. There's lots of opportunities to build that connection and cohesion. And the good teams do it really, really well. Penrith Panthers, great example in the NRL. Look how close and tight they are. It's like they know what each other's doing without even speaking. They probably do because they've spent time together since they're like 13, 14 years of age. Great culture, very well-run business. When you then go into the business world, there just isn't as much opportunity. And some of the striking things for me were everyone I worked with knew who my wife was, because she came to every game, and so did theirs generally. They knew my kids' names. My kids would often come into training and pitch side, and they'd come into the environment. And that fosters a level of trust and connection that's really unparalleled.
Yeah.
That's rare in the business world.
Yeah.
People would laugh at me when I said, why do we not have like a family event? Or a couple of places that my wife has worked, they've done this. But why do we not have like a dinner at least once a year where we invite partners and I can get to know your partner? Why would we not do that?
Yeah, that was an example you mentioned in the book, the Melbourne Storm, when Frank Panisi, when you arrived, and it was all about getting to know you. What can I do for you? Can I set you up for this?
Incredible.
When the family came over, they did all these things, schools. He really went out of his way. Yeah, I think about business world, that does not really happen.
But why is the question? Like the best inventions or the best changes are when people just say, and again, it's an Amazon principle, but I think we could do this better?
I just don't think there's enough focus on the team.